Let's call the Shakopee City Council meeting for September 2nd, 2025 to order. Clerk, if you could take the roll, please.
Councilmember Delaney.
Here.
Councilmember Whiting.
Here.
Councilmember Contreras.
Here.
Councilmember Laura.
Here.
Mayor Lehman.
Here. Item number 3, join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4, approval of the agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda?
Nothing from staff, sir.
Council? Councilor Contreras?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilor Delaney, discussion on the motion? Discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5 is our consent agenda. Is there any changes to the consent agenda by staff
Not from staff, sir.
and by council? Mr. Lara,
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
is there a second? Councilor Contreras?
I'll second.
Is there a discussion on the motion? Mr. Reynolds, will you please read the consent agenda?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. These are the consent agenda items for Tuesday, September 2nd of 2025. 5A are 2025 budget amendments. 5B amends our purchasing policy. 5C is approval of the 2025-26 Shakopee Youth Hockey Concession Agreement. 5D is approval of a location agreement with Mendota Valley Amusement for the ice arena to operate ATM bulk vending and redemption games. 5E is the appointment of interim fire chief Joe Simon as fire chief. 5F purchases 2 2026 utility police interceptors for the police department and declares the existing vehicles as surplus. 5G declares forfeited vehicles as surplus property. 5H approves the master fiber agreement between the City of Shakopee and Scott County. 5I approves plans and authorizes bidding for the Arbor Bluff Stream Stabilization Project. 5J approves a contract with BKJ Land Company doing business as BKJ Excavating for the Wyandotte Acres Drainage Improvement Project. 5K is approval of the August 19, 2025 City Council minutes. 5L is the Ice Arena School District locker room upgrades. And 5M is ordinance 02025 TAC 020, amending City Code Section 32.20 related to the Planning Commission and repealing Section 32.23 of City Code related to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. We do have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Mr. Whiting?
Typically, we don't comment on things that are on the consent agenda, but 5E, I want to welcome Fire Chief Joe Simon to the City of Shakopee. He's been here a long time, but I got to say Fire Chief without the interim first. So,
Not yet, sir.
oh, that's right. We have to wait for the official, but we're almost there. But I got to say it first, kind of. That's all I have, but welcome.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Kind of official now.
Congratulations, Chief Simon.
There it is.
Item number 6, public comment. If you're here on an item not on our city council agenda to address council, now would be the time open to the public for comment on items not on the agenda. Anybody here for an item not on our agenda tonight? Last call. Item number 7 would be business removed from our consent agenda, and there was none removed. Which takes us to item number 8, 8A, public hearings. 8A is a public hearing for 2025 full-depth pavement reconstruction project. A motion from Councilor Whiting?
I'll make a motion to open a public hearing.
Is there a
I'll second.
Motion second. Discussion on the motion? Discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Public hearing is open.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Alex Jordan. I'm the City Engineer, and we're here tonight to hold the second public hearing for our 2025 full-depth pavement reconstruction project. This is a map of the project location. The project this summer took place along McGuire Circle, McGuire Court, and Sunset Court in the southwest corner of County Highways 16 and County Highway 18. This project requires a public hearing consistent with Minnesota State Statute, Chapter 429, regarding local improvements based on city's public infrastructure. Because this project included special assessments as a funding source, we're required to hold multiple public hearings consistent with state statute requirements. This is the project timeline. Last fall in November, the City Council received the feasibility report identifying the proposed improvements. Subsequently, we held a public hearing and ordered the project in November. Then the city commenced with design of the project improvements, and we awarded the construction contract to Northwest Asphalt in April. Construction was completed early this year at the end of June in 2025. And then in August, we declared those costs and calculated what the final assessment amounts would be and set the public hearing. And tonight we are holding the second public hearing to consider adopting the assessment. Here are a few project photos before and after construction. This was in the northern area of our project on McGuire Court. You can see on the left side is the before construction photo, and on the right side is after paving and restoration was completed. And this is along Sunset Court. Again, the image on the left is before construction, and the image on the right is after construction. A summary of the project costs is shown in the table on this slide. As you can see, the actual final construction cost came in well under what the contract amount was at the time of award. The construction costs were lowered due to not needing to do as much subgrade excavation through the construction. Subsequently, that saved us on restoration along the roadway if we didn't need to do as much excavation. So what that did is it lowered the city's overall costs and also lowered the overall assessment amounts to property owners. The city has a adopted policy for special assessments. Essentially, we adopted a policy stating how we can assess property owners consistent with Chapter 429 state statute requirements. For this project, the assessment amounts are based on the actual cost of the street improvements. So when the project was completed, we calculated those costs based on what was actually built. And then those street improvements are assessed at a 30% amount, so 70% cost paid for by the city funds, 30% assessments. And with this project, those costs are then assessed on a per lot basis, meaning if you own a residential property, your assessment would be the same as your neighbor's. The project was broken into two different areas. We had our McGuire Court and McGuire Circle area. That has one special assessment, and the Sunset Court area has a second special assessment, mainly because those projects were a little bit different. The properties were different sizes, so we separated those. But they were both assessed on a per lot basis. This is a map showing those two assessment areas. The area to the north on top of the screen, that's your McGuire Circle, McGuire Court, and the bottom is Sunset Court. The assessment amounts for the two areas, McGuire Circle and McGuire Court, came in at $4,183.08 per lot. And on Sunset Court, it was $4,677.91 per lot. What's shown on the screen is a draft amortization schedule. Essentially, that means if you don't pay any of the assessment amount this year, this is what you would pay annually on your tax statements. We spread those assessments out over a 10-year period, so you can see with our 5% interest rate what your costs would be each year. Each property owner will get this in the mail with the summary, so you don't need to see these slides. I know there's a lot of information. Payment options for property owners. Property owners have the ability to pay any or all the amount of the assessments by October 2nd this year, interest-free. That means if a property owner wants to pay $1 or the entire amount of the assessment, they will not incur interest on that amount that's paid. They have 1 month essentially from tonight to do that by October 2nd. We have letters that are about to go out in the mail tomorrow morning if the council adopts the assessments with payment options for property owners, so they can see exactly what their payment schedule is and how they can pay those assessments out. After that October date, essentially the city will be certifying the unpaid portions of those assessments to the county so that they'll be put on the property taxes, which would be paid over a 10-year period beginning with the taxes payable in 2026, subject to a 5% interest rate per annum. And then property owners can pay off the remaining special assessment amount at any time during that 10-year period to the City of Shakopee Finance Department. Now, the caveat is in this next month window, you can pay any or all the amount of the assessment, but after that October 2nd date, property owners then would have to pay the full remainder amount. They won't be able to pay a portion of those special assessments because they'll be on your property taxes. So tonight we will hold the public hearing. I know there's a few property owners that are in attendance. Prior to this meeting, staff did receive 2 phone calls from property owners. Those calls mainly related to questions about how they would pay those assessments amount and what the assessment amounts would be. We did not receive any objections in writing prior to the meeting. But if property owners wish to preserve their right to appeal the assessment to the county court, they must file the written objection to the assessment prior to the closing of the public hearing tonight. So if anyone needs to preserve their right to appeal, now is your opportunity to do so. And then after the public hearing is conducted, I'll ask for you to adopt Resolution R 2025-095, adopting the assessments for our 2025 full depth pavement reconstruction project. And I can stand for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Questions of staff? Mr. Delaney.
This was a neighborhood that didn't want the gravel, up on the roadway. Okay, thanks.
Yes, that's correct. And you can see on the image on the right side, the grass basically abuts directly to the pavement. So we did not put those gravel shoulders along the roadway.
Thank you.
Good memory. Thank you.
Other questions, Mr. Whiting?
Is there any property owners that are wishing to preserve their right to appeal this decision tonight? Last chance.
Well, if you do, you got till the end of this public hearing and in writing with the city clerk.
Correct.
Which is right here if you need to. Questions on this side? Questions that I have is first of all, it's awesome that they're below estimate. That's always good to see. The street lighting we did on one side of this project. Which side was it, and where did we put them?
Yeah, that was on the McGuire Court, McGuire Circle side. There was an intersection that didn't meet the Shakopee Public Utilities lighting standards for intersections based on the roadway spacing. So we essentially put a light in the middle of the McGuire Circle, McGuire Court intersection area.
Okay. And
that street light was not part of the special assessments.
okay, so that would be out of the capital fund.
Correct.
Or SPUC. Okay.
It should have been put in at that intersection. If it's not, it's still coming this fall. It should have been right at the almost just east of the intersection where the 2 streets.
Ma'am, if you're
Sorry.
going to speak, you want to come up to the podium here, please?
If there's not, then it's still coming this fall. But it is part of Shakopee Public Utilities.
It's part of the project and is funded as part of the project, and it will be put in.
Yes, and I can talk to you afterwards about it.
And I got to say, when my road was redone a couple years back now, my assessment was actually more than this one. So
Yes, was mine.
it's really nice to see these come in lower. So that's definitely beneficial. All right. Any other questions of staff? Okay, this is a public hearing. If you'd like to speak on this matter, please come up to the table and the chair and the microphone. We'd love to hear your comments. If you could go ahead and have a seat, get comfortable, and that microphone is heavy on the bottom, but it will move. So you can pull it toward you if you need to.
Hello.
Hello. And name and address, the sign-up sheet there, and there should be a pen for you.
Yes, my name is Charlotte Post, and I live at 8579 McGuire Circle. Where the 24 inches, 2 foot of rock was to be considered on both sides of the blacktop, I witnessed the contractor come in and put down black dirt in various locations where the blacktop was much deeper than what the sod was on the other side. So it's in various locations along all of McGuire Circle and McGuire Court. In the places where they put the dirt, I have photos that you can look at. There is...
Ma'am, can you please pull the...
There is
mic up
serious
to-
quantities of quackgrass, It's called barnyard grass. It quickly depletes the soil of essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. It's taller than my hips when I stand up. So that weed was this tall as I walked by them. I have photos here to show you. I have 41
Ma'am, please speak into the mic.
I have 41 feet of easement on McGuire Circle. I pulled out over 50 weeds just to eliminate them on my piece of property. I don't know what we're going to do about all the rest of it completely down the roads because it's out of control. It produces large numbers of seeds, and I paid to have pre-emergence put on my property to have these seeds removed. The house that's on the corner, the three that are right there where the street light supposedly is going to go in, they all have people that are taking care of weeds too, and this is where these photos that I have here, because I walked this. You're more than welcome to see these photos. This is my property where I pulled them out.
Ma'am, people can't hear you unless you speak into the mic.
Yeah, you can pull that mic back a little bit.
So
There you
anyway,
go.
I'd like to
Thank
have consideration taken on how are we going to get rid of this quackgrass, crabgrass, and what's it called, barnyard grass. Barnyard grass competes with the desired grass. It takes away the water, the nutrients, and all the ingredients I told you, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. It's wicked. It produces large numbers of seeds and leads to continued spread and persistence. This was not in my neighborhood before, and it's out there a lot of
Okay.
it.
All right. Appreciate your comments, and if you can go ahead and share them with staff. You can email them to staff if you like.
Thank you for your time.
You're very
Thank you
welcome.
for your time.
Thank you. If there's anybody else that would like to speak on this matter, this is a public hearing. Any comment from staff on the weeds?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, our contract is still open with our contractor. Even though the costs are finalized, we're still going to be maintaining that grass. I'll talk to the property owner after this meeting. We'll swing out tomorrow and take a look at what it looks like. We can certainly take care of issues if they're those that are presenting for restoration.
What's the right-of-way beyond what the blacktop is?
Oh, I don't know it off the top of my head. At a minimum, it's 20 feet from the edge of the road, more than likely somewhere between that 15 and 20 feet. But we will take a look at it tomorrow.
Okay. Anybody else that would like to speak on this matter? This is a public hearing. Please step up to the table. We'd love to hear your comments. Anybody? Sensing none. Councilor Lara,
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Contreras. Discussion on the motion. Discussion, seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. What's the wishes of council? Mr. Whiting?
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution R 2025 TAC 095, adopting assessments for the 2025 full depth pavement reconstruction project CIF 25 TAC 001.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Mr. Delaney?
Second.
Discussion on the motion. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you for your comments. They're going to have the contractor take a look at that tomorrow. Item 8B is a public hearing for Texas Roadhouse Holdings LLC regarding liquor violations. Motion to open a public hearing, Mr.
I'll make a
Whiting?
motion to open the public hearing.
Is there a second? Counselor Contreras. A discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now open.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So tonight we have a hearing regarding a liquor violation that took place at Texas Roadhouse LLC, doing business as Texas Roadhouse. This violation was a result of a compliance check back in 2024. I'd like to start by reviewing a little bit about compliance checks, violations, and the city's approach to both of those things. Liquor compliance checks are conducted by the Shakopee Police Department. They're an important element of public safety. Police Department will verify that liquor license holders are not serving underage customers. And again, making sure there's not an issue with underage alcohol consumption. Generally speaking, the police department will partner with, they'll have a designated underage that'll go into a liquor license establishment and try and purchase alcohol from them. If the establishment does provide liquor to that person, they failed the compliance check and it is a liquor violation. All liquor licenses within the city run through these compliance checks. They're done roughly twice a year. In addition to liquor, these are done on tobacco, low potency THC, eventually cannabis. So these compliance checks are an important part of making sure that certain products aren't getting into the wrong hands. Generally, how it works is if a compliance check is failed and a violation is issued, the employee of the liquor license who served the alcohol is issued a citation, and they need to go to court to have that all resolved. So to have the citation resolved in court does take a while. It's usually a 9 to 12 month process to have it get through, which is why we're talking about a 2024 violation right now in 2025. It just takes some time for it to move through the process. Once the citation is resolved, the city will assess penalties onto the liquor license holder for the liquor violation. The penalties for the city are set in section 114.99 of the city code. These penalties were established to create a uniform set of penalties and guidelines for instances like this of sales to underage individuals. So this part of the city code is specifically designed to handle this situation. The first incident, as you can see here, is a $1,000 fine with a 1-day license suspension. The 1-day license suspension is held in abeyance on the condition that no additional violations occur over the next year. So if they do not commit a liquor violation from a year from that violation date, they won't serve the 1-day suspension. The second incident is a $1,500 fine and a 5-day license suspension. Third incident is a $2,000 fine and a 15-day license suspension. And a fourth incident is a $3,500 fine and a minimum of a 30-day license suspension with a possible revocation of the license. Penalties are assessed generally within a 3-year window. So if you commit a violation in year 1 and then don't have any violations until year 5 and commit another violation, both will be treated as first violations. Just for another example, if you have a violation in year 1 and a violation in year 3, you'll have a first incident penalty and a second incident penalty. When a violation occurs, the licensee can accept the penalties that are set and they're notified of, and may waive the hearing and just pay the penalties or participate in any suspensions, or they may request a hearing before the city council for these things. In this particular instance, Texas Roadhouse has requested a hearing, so that's why we're here today. We are discussing the violation that occurred on May 8th, 2024, but we do need to also consider the violation on October 17th, 2022, because both of them together affect the severity of the penalty that is brought against Texas Roadhouse. The first violation in 2022 was also a compliance check failure. The penalty assessed was a first incident penalty, which is $1,000 fine and a 1-day suspension. This was the previous version of our code. The code has updated since 2022 to today. So at the time, they were able to pay $500 and then the other $500 in the 1-day suspension were held in abeyance. And Texas Roadhouse did not commit another violation over that next year, so they did not face a suspension and additional fines. The second violation in May 8th, 2024 was a compliance check failure. This is the second incident within 3 years of the first incident. And pursuant to City Code 114.99, the penalty for that is a $1,500 fine and a 5-day license suspension. This is the recommendation of staff, as we're pulling it directly from the city code that has set these penalties, and staff recommends that this penalty be followed. Should the council approve this action, we would coordinate with the liquor license holder to set the days of suspension, and we would set them before 2025 is over. For the hearing tonight, the purpose we have is to allow the licensee to come speak to City Council about the situation, about the violation, and it's for City Council to officially authorize the recommended penalty. I'm very happy to answer any questions now or as we go through the hearing. I also know the police department is present if there's further questions about some of the compliance check elements. Otherwise, we do have some representatives here from Texas Roadhouse, and we have Adam Phelps and Greg Jacobson here in the back.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. Questions of staff? Mr. Lara.
When did we just recently redid our penalties, didn't we? Was it last year or the year before that?
I believe it was 2023.
Yeah.
So it was pretty,
2 years ago.
yep.
Tobacco and alcohol.
Councilor Contreras?
Thank you. Did we do a compliance check in 2023 throughout the year?
I'm sorry, could you say it one more time?
Did they get a compliance check in 2023?
They did. All of the licensed establishments will have compliance checks
Yearly.
roughly twice a year.
Okay, no, just making sure. Thank you.
Mr. Whiting?
Was there any concern with the compliance check or brought up at the court hearing, or and did the court hearing, I assume, was found guilty, or however that works?
I believe so. How it happens is once the citations work their way through the court process, the police department notifies staff on this side, and then we proceed. And do you have something?
Maybe the question should be to the chief. Was there any concern with the compliance check brought up at the time or since?
Mayor, council, no, and both parties that were cited did plea at their respective hearings and were sentenced.
Okay.
Their sentences were stayed pending those same or similars.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
When you say both parties,
There were, Mayor, council, there were two different incidents here, so two different people sold. The first person in October of 2022 was cited.
okay.
That was adjudicated. The second violation in May of 24, that was a different person than the first time.
Okay,
So that's what I meant by two people.
all right. Continue questions of staff? Any questions, staff? Okay. This is a public hearing. If you'd like to speak on this matter, please come up to the table, sign in, name and address, and speak into the microphone. Sorry, we have chairs for one. We'll have to take turns.
Yeah, please just pull a chair
There you go.
up. Thank you.
And you can move that mic a little bit as long as the cord is long enough for you.
reaches. All right. Good?
Yep.
All right. Perfect. Well, City Council, thank you for having us and thank you for hearing us. My name is Adam. I'm the managing partner. This is Greg. He's my partner. He's the market partner of Minnesota and some North Dakota stores. We just wanted to come before you guys and you know, ask for the 5-day liquor license and suspension to potentially be annulled. We understand that serving alcohol to the community is a privilege and it's not a right. Texas Roadhouse has always taken responsible alcohol service very seriously. In both instances, the team members of ours neglected to do proper math. We went to the Scott County Responsible Beverage Service training, me and my management staff and Greg as well. And we learned that probably 90% of the failed compliance checks are not seeing the ID, but merely just looking at the ID. So what we did after that is we took the steps to get a scanning process into our restaurant in order to eliminate the math and the mistakes. We know it was a terrible mistake on both parts, and that's one of the biggest things that we are putting, biggest systems that we are implementing to eliminate that mistake as best as we possibly can. We've always had stringent, strict alcohol or ID checks. We actually implemented IDing anybody over the age of 50 to check for restrictions and to make sure that we are not serving anybody that has those restrictions on the back of their IDs. And then scanning any ID of anybody that we view or appears to be 30 or under. Every server, bartender, any management staff, key hourly, whether it's in the kitchen or in the front, has to take a serving alcohol class. It's a state mandated class that everybody does. It is valid for 3 years. We track that in our online system called Hot Schedules. If it ever expires, they are immediately removed from the schedule. That way we can make sure that we are keeping up on them. We have them all printed in the stores. We get yearly audits from our company to make sure that we have them. Texas Roadhouse requires a company-mandated alcohol compliance every single year in order to maintain a little bit more strict rules or strict liabilities on our end. We've decided in Shakopee to do that biannually. And then every single member of our staff recently, we went through and kind of did a retraining, and then we made them sign off on an alcohol service agreement, which I have for you guys if you guys would like to see, that states that, you know, we are taking it very seriously. We are properly training it. They will make sure that they are looking and seeing every ID, and that they will not serve anybody that is that appears to be intoxicated. So those are some of the main things. We also we've posted some signage that says we scan IDs so that way our guests know. We also have we ID with a date, so that way the staff can see the date easily. And then also on every one of our POS systems, the date of sale is bouncing around, so they have multiple outlets to go use or multiple resources to use when checking IDs. Anything you want to add?
No, thank you for your time. I just want to touch base that, Mariah and Ashley did fail. They still work for us. They were an original server from the day we opened, and then Mariah was from 3 years. And like Adam said, I think they are mistakes, and we train very hard, and I think we just got to do better of our game, do a better job. I do love this new system that we installed. I'll probably be putting it in. I manage 11 Texas Roadhouses, so we never knew we could really do this, and so because of this incident, we installed the system. I think it's great. I think it's awesome, and I think that's going to be a game changer for us, not just here, but in the other 10 stores. So we're just asking, like I said, we know we screwed up, and we're just we just asking not to have the 5-day suspension of the license. So
Well,
we have some information if you want to look at anything, or picture of the scan IDs or the system, or any questions for us?
Questions of questions? I have just a couple. Has your company ever failed your own internal compliance checks?
What do you mean by internal?
You said that your company does their own compliance.
We go over a service policy. So as an employee of Texas Roadhouse, you have to learn to serve or serve safe. It's a national thing. They take that online, and then we have those certificates that we put into, he said, a system we have that kicks that out. We don't have any internal,
Okay. Okay.
internal like checks.
And then what is your slowest sales day during the week
For alcohol or total sales?
for alcohol?
Probably, well, we're at 9%. So if yesterday we did 20,000, so probably $1,800 yesterday, 1,800.
Is it Monday, Tuesday, Sunday?
Oh, that's Monday. So then it'd be, I could, on a calculator, I could do it pretty quick. He could do it pretty quick. But
I'm just looking to know
9% of our,
what day of the week is your slowest.
yeah,
Okay.
9% of our business is alcohol.
All right. All right. Any other questions?
Just comment.
Councilor Lara?
All the checks that you had just mentioned, the dates bouncing around on the computers, all the dates that you said are posted all over. Were those in place before or after this date, the 5th, May 5th, May 8th?
They've been available, so
The whole time?
they were available at the time. It was a matter of not using the resources. So we've implemented extra resources, and again, I think the WeScan IDs is the biggest thing to eliminate just the math factor.
Councilor Whiting?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I didn't have any questions, but I did want to comment that, we all enjoy Texas Roadhouse. We love them in our community. You mentioned you take these alcohol issues very seriously, and so does the city council in this city. Appreciate the training that you're doing and the implementation of some of that electronics equipment. Just wanted to mention that. And hopefully, from this lesson, more training continues and you can sustain that. Because
Absolutely.
we do take
Thank
it
you.
seriously.
Councilor Contreras?
Excuse that, I mean, I don't drink, so now that you implemented the scanning, tell me a little bit about how that works for you guys. Like, I'll ask for a drink, you ask for my ID.
Yep,
Do
so-
they carry that with them, or they take my ID back to?
So the servers we have POS stations where they would scan the IDs all throughout kind of the restaurant. And I didn't want to have any sort of like somebody's like, oh, they're taking my ID into the kitchen. So basically for security reasons or just the comfort of the guest. So we have them in plain view where they are being scanned, but the server does physically take the ID to the POS and they scan the ID at the POS. Okay. And then it brings up all the information. It says their exact age and it gives a big thumbs up or a big thumbs down if they're not of age.
Okay, thank you.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Sounds pretty simple. Nice.
They make it very easy for sure.
Okay.
Let me follow up on that. Then,
Mr. Whiting?
Are there repercussions for staff members that don't do that? Are you watching for that? And what do you do about it?
So it's fairly new to us. And we do have some report portals that we can see how many IDs are being scanned, and it's different for everybody because some people work 2 days, some people work 5 days. So we got to kind of find that balance of where we can see, oh, so and so is scanning 100 IDs a week, but why is so and so scanning 2 IDs a week? And then we will use that as a training tool to go over them and find out maybe they are only serving on Mondays or Tuesdays, which are lower alcohol volume sales. So that's something that we're collecting data on right now, and that will get figured out as time goes on.
All right. Thank you.
All right, any other questions?
Could I add one thing? Obviously, I don't even want to have a third one. We did not terminate the 2 girls or previous girls who failed, but we are going to have to implement immediate termination if it happens again for obvious reasons. And so maybe the staff will, hate to say it, pay more attention because it's a little more serious. But I said the girls, we screwed up. They just, well, they're still good people, and we just screwed up. So we're here to say we're sorry and try and get better.
Thank you for your testimony today. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on this matter? This is a public hearing. Seeing none, wishes of council. Mr. Whiting?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Delaney makes a second. Discussion on the motion? Discussion, seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Public hearing is closed. Wishes of council. Mr. Whiting?
Well, we take these very seriously. We have it written in our ordinance that these steps are taken. There have been others, groups that have come forward to try and make adjustments. We've held our ground because the fact is that if we give up on some of these days or some of these fines, we'll have to do it the next time as well. No, I think we can make some adjustments to the days. I think you're looking at Mondays, spreading them out.
Well, I don't know if they can spread them out or not, but it's certainly, I would prefer to include a Monday.
Mr. Parsons, can we spread these days out?
You cannot. They need to be consecutive days.
So I'd like to see a Monday in there, but let's get a motion and second on the floor, and then we'll discuss.
Oh, I can do. Who wants to do? I'll do it.
Got it
Ready?
ready? Go ahead.
Yep, I'll make a motion to approve the imposition of the 1,500 fee and a consecutive 5-day liquor license suspension to take a plan in 2025 with the date set by the city staff for the Texas Roadhouse Holdings LLC, DBA Texas Roadhouse.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Delaney, and I would ask if there's interest by the motion maker and second to include that would include a Monday.
That's fine with me.
That's fine.
Okay. Discussion on the motion. Mr. Lara.
We're also setting a precedence with that too. I think we just need to be careful with what we're doing, and like I said, we do take this seriously, and I'm glad that we're not going to not do it because, again, another precedent set, and we have these rules for a reason. I would just, the whole Monday thing, I think it's already going to be worked out with the city clerk. I, for one, would be against that. Let's just, if it would have came up organically, fine, but for us to just say, well, it can include a Monday, I don't like that. It sets a precedence that now we're just going to have to do with everybody else that if this ever happens again, which I hope it doesn't. But that's all I have to say.
It doesn't change the required 5 days consecutive.
Right, and I've, if I may.
Go ahead.
Before, I've been in one before, and they've asked at least that, and I believe we worked out their days were also where like their lowest sell was on there, so it's one day and it could be Monday through Friday all, it's fine with me.
Mr.
I'm fine.
Mayor?
It's just my opinion.
Yes, ma'am.
Historically, staff has tried to work with business owners so as to avoid holidays, busy times, things like that. So that is something that we generally do.
Very good.
Thank you.
Just with that.
Any other discussion on this side of the motion?
One other thing,
Counselor
I
Contreras.
just want to get this off, and this is in a compliance, what happens when we're not checking? That's what bothers me as a mom. And I'll just say it's unacceptable because that is something we just caught because we were checking. If we're not watching or if we're not checking, I don't know what's happening. So
We got a rep to protect.
One at a
Sorry,
time.
yeah.
One at a time.
thank you.
Did you have something to say, Councilor Whiting?
Just that we try to protect our reputation in way back history, little Chicago days. We're not going back there. So I think we are growing as an entertainment community. That should help your business. Staff will work with you to try and work out your best time frame to get this worked out. But we like to be pretty stringent on this one.
And if there's no other comment, I'll make the last. We love your business in town.
Yeah.
I love your food, by the way. And a little history lesson. Councilor Whiting and I, and I'm certainly not speaking for him, we go back at least a decade together on council. And even prior to that, we've seen this same liquor law violation come forward. And, there was a time where it was very fluid, if you want to say that. And the problem with that is that you may be asking for a waiver. This business may get one, maybe it's a half a waiver, the next one doesn't, and pretty soon it loses its integrity.
Slippery slope.
And it's important that the integrity is in the rules, equally applied to all. And this has been rewritten a couple of times in my 20 plus years here, And this last rewriting, the goal was to be not only firm, but to be consistent. And I think that's critical. You know, and it's always sad, and it's really sad when it's a off-sale liquor store because it pretty much closes them down. But the rules do apply evenly for all. So, any other comments from council? Okay, we do have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Item number 9, motion to recess for Economic Development Authority meeting. Mr. Lara.
I'll make a motion to adjourn to the Economic Development meeting.
Second.
Second by Councilor Contreras. Discussion on the motion. Discussion on the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're in recess for the Economic Development Authority.
All right. Let's call to order the Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 meeting of the Shakopee Economic Development Authority. Please make note of the roll. Next on the item on the agenda is our approval of the agenda. We get a motion.
Make a motion to approve the EDA agenda.
Motion by Contreras. Second. Second by Delaney. Any discussion? Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we have an agenda. We're moving on to item 3A, the 2026 EDA levy. Mr. Reinhardt.
Yeah, good evening, President and Commissioners. Tonight we'll be asking for EDA consideration of the proposed 2026 EDA tax levy. If approved tonight, the levy and budget will be forwarded to City Council for their approval on the September 16th City Council meeting. So the EDA levy is subject to a percentage of city's estimated market value. That cap for 2026 is a little over 1.5 million. The levy being proposed tonight is well within that cap. The EDA levy differs slightly from the general fund levy in that it gets applied to all taxable properties within the city. That would include properties within a tax abatement or TIF plan. The EDA's levy is also identified separately in the property tax statements outside of the city's general property tax. I know that question came up at the last meeting. It's not within the city levy. It's actually, at one point it was separated out and specifically identified as the EDA levy, but in the last couple of years it looks like the county has included it with the other special taxing districts, so it's that included in that line item there. The EDA levy is specifically designated for economic development activities, and then any funds unspent from year to year would be carried over for that purpose. And then for the River City Center, the EDA is responsible for the business tenants on the main level, and the CDA continues to be the manager of the senior apartments on the second level. That activity, which includes the lease revenue expenditures, we have that accounted for as a separate sub-fund of the EDA. So I'll touch base on that as well. So starting with the revenue side, so I'll have one slide on revenues and one slide. Staff is proposing an increase in the EDA levy of $50,000 for a total of $550,000. Additional funding is provided through a contribution of 0.5% of revenues from the Shakopee Public Utilities Commission. We anticipate that contribution amount to be $335,000 for 2026. $20,000 for the social district licenses and cup sales, and then $24,000 for admissions related to the TAP event. For the medium value home, that equals out to about $21 a year. So it's about $2 more than last year. On the expenditure side, so operating expenses include wages and benefits, which includes the economic development coordinator and then 50% of the planning and development director. Legal services, planning services, and professional services. Within professional services would be the facade loan program, entrepreneurship programming, Main Street, TAP event, and marketing. Staff is proposing a new annual transfer of $50,000 of the city's general fund. The EDA does receive admin support from the general fund operations, including city council, finance, IT communications, HR, et cetera. So from a financial standpoint, the administration allocation would better reflect that full cost of EDA operations. This is similar to how we handle the water and the stormwater utilities. They also have an annual transfer, so similar to how that's handled. The EDA budget also includes $75,000 for the installation of a level 3 charger at Quarry Lake. Xcel Energy would be paying for the majority of that installation cost. Moving on to River Center, which again, showing the budget separate, but it is a sub-fund of the EDA. So when we get to the end of the year, it's reported as part of the EDA. But we have budgeted $400,000 on lease revenues. This, of course, is our best estimate. It'll be impacted by any renewals and tenant turnover. We do have one lease that's expiring at the end of June. So we did increase the building maintenance line item, assuming there might be some work to get that space ready to be leased. Improvements also include the replacement of the original roof. This would be shared 50-50 with the CDA. We've estimated $400,000 as our share. And then the CDA would be the lead on that project, completing the plans and bidding for that roof replacement. So with that, I can answer any questions that you might have. Otherwise, I ask for consideration resolutions adopting the 2026 EDA levy and then 2026 budget. And then unless there's any modifications to the budget and levy from this meeting, we do anticipate asking City Council to adopt the final EDA levy at their next meeting.
Questions on the EDA budget and levy?
I got a question. My biggest question is the 50K. How long has the EDA been in kind of active? And we're now assessing 50K to the residents. Why would that 50K not come out of the existing budget of 500,000 like from last year? We're kind of adding a new line item in. The next question is, how do we figure that 50K out? It seems to be kind of a lump sum of everything. So,
yeah. So the 50K is obviously just a lump sum. I know in past places where I worked at, we've done it as a percentage of. We picked, admin, city council. We've done it as a percentage. So, 50K is probably a rough estimate of what was probably being provided. I mean, could it be more? Could it be less? Probably, but it's a general idea of about how much of support is going into that. And then as far as not including it before, I mean, I think it really just came down to is that, prior to having the levy where it's at right now with the 500,000 and the 550,000, there just wasn't enough to necessarily support. So it's kind of the idea of, okay, well, what's the full cost of this EDA, and should the EDA be paying for some of this overhead cost that they're utilizing? I mean, I guess that's whether or not you agree with it is kind of the question, right?
Yeah, just one follow-up. So by not adding that in, could it still come out of, we kept the EDA levy flat at 500,000. Would the 50,000 come out of that? Would that put you any kind of?
I think staff, if that was the case, I think staff would still recommend using that allocation to really reflect the full cost, which is pretty common with other cities, that they have a percentage that they're using to support the overhead of that operation.
Thank you. Any questions on that topic or others? I'd like to jump on that topic too, because you mentioned the 50,000 to cover the cost of services. We're already paying for one full set of wages here and a partial set of wages here, correct?
Correct.
So wouldn't that pay for itself by taking those wages out of the city staff wages, or the city's budget? This is on the EDA budget. Doesn't that 50,000 be absorbed?
Yeah, I mean, I think the staff that's allocated right now, you have one, sorry, I'm forgetting Sullivan's position, but you have one economic development coordinator that's specifically doing just economic development activity. So that's really all he's doing. So that having those wages covered there makes a lot of sense. And then I don't, Kursky could answer better for himself, but I would say probably about 50% of his time is probably spent on the EDA, which is what's being allocated right now.
And what we're looking at is all the other ancillary issues, HR, finance, IT, admin, which has never been accounted for. And frankly, the taxpayers are paying for it as opposed to, the EDA taxpayers. And they are two different entities. The residential taxpayers are one, residential business taxpayers, and then we also add all the other taxpayers, whether it be TIF or abated taxpayers. They should have to pay part of the EDA as well. And so, again, this is something we're actually probably pretty late coming to. We probably should have done this a long time ago.
All right, any other questions?
More of a comment. I think in the past, 2 or 3 years, we've kept the EDA budget flat, the same year after year. And this is the first year I can recall that we're asking for an increase in it.
I do have a couple other comments, and I think I've made them in the past too. And I think on your slide, we're talking about the TAP event. And we are a separate body, but this is a party that we're throwing on the EDA taxpayers dime there. And we're budgeting it for what you show as a $4,000 loss, and I'm seeing as a $6,000 loss in your notes. We got revenues of $24K, and we're putting out $30K, so that's a $6,000 loss in my notes. And then for a party that certain people pay to join, but others don't. So I guess I'm asking the rest of you if that's something that you think that we should be. I know where it's for economic development, but is it? Do we want to keep paying for a party? $6,000 of our taxpayers' money? Because it's never been. Go ahead.
Is that something the chamber should take over, or?
I don't know if we've spoke to them about.
I guess that's this group we're talking. Is that something the chamber should take over? And then on that note, Main Street program, and I know sometimes they're active, sometimes they're not, but we're still giving Main Street $25K, and I know Rhythm on the Rails is bringing in some good money. I thought when we originally started the $25K to Main Street, the discussion was it was going to be a limited time that we're going to give that. It wasn't going to be an annual $25K. Those are some comments I have. If you guys were interested in reducing this budget, there you go. Go ahead.
Is the 25K, that's half, 50% of the Main Street program, correct?
At the time, that was the discussion.
Yep. And I don't know if there was a sunset or not. I'd have to go back and look. I guess the bigger question is, are we getting our money's worth out of the program, right? That's a valid question, and I don't have the answer to that.
Mr. Lara maybe could answer.
I'm all in if you want to lower this budget. Count me in.
I would be surprised if you weren't. Where are we at with TAP this year? Mr. Kursky, if you'd like to make some comments.
So, Mr. President and board members, the largest kind of one-time expense is the dinner that's held for corporations and the entrepreneurs and SPUC and Three Rivers Park District and all of our federal and state employees on the Friday night. So that's included in that number. So no one pays for that. That's 100% free. And it's not really a party. I think it's a way for people to connect. We've had very good success at the federal level with our congressperson supporting the hub, and we'll get the support. I think last year both of the representatives were there promised if we ever do get a bonding bill that the hub would be their number one priority to try and push through.
So more marketing and lobbying.
Yeah, very much.
So I guess I'm leaving it for your thoughts on those two items. Mr. Lara, what are your thoughts on Main Street program since you're our liaison?
I do find them beneficial. I do know that there is strong support for all the events that they do throw. I guess I never did have a discussion, or I don't have knowledge in terms of the impact of Rhythm for them, and if we were to reduce their $25,000, what would that look like to them? What would be affected? I do know that the programs that they do put on and the support that they give the local businesses is paramount. They do a very great job, and I do think it's important to support that. With the TAP event, if this is something that we're looking at for support for the hub, maybe once the hub is actually something that's going to come to fruition, we could maybe look at no longer doing that event or maybe passing it along to somebody else to do. That's always up for consideration as well. But I would be comfortable just moving forward as is.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
So one of the corrections that we were just talking, so the TAP event does not come out of the levy, it comes out of Spuck's money. So they are the official sponsor of that event.
Of the money that they give the EDA.
Yep, that specifically is a set aside that they wanted for kind of to promote economic development. They have a list of supporters that they invite to that event, public utility.
I thought it was to help them bury power lines that they still haven't buried. They're working. Any other comments on that, Ms. Contreras?
Yeah, my only comment is I think we should involve the chamber because it's kind of hard, like right at this moment, to say, well, you're not going to get the 25,000.
Every year that comes up.
Well, I
and
know, but
that
I
happens.
think it's our fault that we haven't said, hey, what are you doing to
Show us
help
the money.
us? What are you doing?
A list of events.
Yes, give us a list of events. What is the benefit to us with this money that we're giving you, and not do it like the moment of.
Okay, well, they heard our conversation. Mr. Reynolds?
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe the contract states they're supposed to be here on a yearly basis reporting to council about what Main Street is doing. Main Street used to be strong. When I first got here, it was a very strong organization. I don't know anymore. There's a lot of things that Main Street used to do that currently isn't being done anymore. And I think that's a detriment to the organization and the downtown cohesiveness that we used to have a little more. So we will reach out to Main Street and see if we can't get them in here to answer some questions about the program and go from there.
Perfect.
Mr. Lara, you can send our concerns or
I can do
discussion
that.
at least.
Yep,
And
I can do that.
Mr. Kursky, did you have anything to follow
Yeah,
up?
Mr. President, board members, the other thing is we changed that contract so it's not specifically for Main Street. In fact, we serve kind of to support the Main Street program. That's actually more of a sponsorship. So we are a sponsor of Rhythm on the Rails and several other events that they do. The city is the official sponsor.
Through this donation?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's okay.
That was an issue when I started because we gave them a lot of money beyond this.
I appreciate the conversation on Main Street, and I do understand I wouldn't want to just throw this at them overnight on their budget, but I do want them to understand that we're having that conversation on Main Street. TAP event, marketing, part of the SPUC issue, their payment. I understand that. I never really saw it as something that's pushing the hub, but I guess the feds do show up for it. That's where the money is. Comments? Oh, Mr. Delaney, sorry.
Quick question. As far as the budget itself, it jumped from 350 at one point. Was that 2022 or when did that happen?
Chair and board members, so when Shakopee Public Utilities redid their franchise, they agreed to kick in a percentage towards economic development. So that's specifically set aside not to pay for staff or overhead, but set aside for programs like TAP, or if we have a potential project to pay for studies, engineering. We paid the city through that, contributed $150,000 from the EDA to undergrounding on by Canterbury. So that's actually, I saw tonight they're actually doing it. So
Supposed to be this over there, sorry.
They're going to start the boring process.
Mr. Lehman.
I think the question was, when did the city EDA's levy go from 350 to 500? And I think it was 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as the TAP event downtown, I got to make sure, maybe I got this wrong, but the way I look at it is we're paying the brewers to be there, correct? And then, and the money we're paying them to be there with is coming from the EDA taxpayers, right? Or no, it's coming from the utility.
Coming from the utility.
So President and board members, so Shakopee Public Utilities commits to underwrite that event, and they are the title sponsor and all.
Okay, so part of our electric bill and water bill is paying for a keg party in the Lewis Street parking lot, of which we're also charging
people to go
to.
And then we're just a pass through, it looks like. You understand where I'm at.
One year I got one non-alcoholic, so I don't really.
Well,
get
yeah, we'll have to try. I would like to see, we'll continue this event, I guess, in this budget, but I think we got to take a look at it seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
not something I want to sign off on every year.
Right.
So what about, and did we make a decision on the 50,000?
I would like to see I don't want just kind of a random number, more of a percentage of maybe what some other cities do, at least know exactly what that's kind of going for. I mean, I understand it hasn't been addressed in the past as far as the budget not being there, and I just don't understand why it's not coming out of our 50 or 500,000 versus just adding that back onto the EDA budget. I kind of get it, but
Yeah. So the other thing with the percentage thing is
It could be a higher
obviously
rate.
a flat dollar amount. You're not going to adjust it from year. It fluctuate from year
Right.
to year depending on where your other operating costs go. But I could do a little bit more analysis if you want to maybe see what could justify that 50,000.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, we've kicked it around a lot, had some discussion. What is the wishes of this board? We're going to get some more information back on what the 50,000 is going to be, but what is the wishes of the board?
Well, if you're going to want to be making adjustments, and one of the adjustments or concerns is the Main Street, should we wait to hear back from what they have to say before we make any cuts?
I agree.
So I don't feel comfortable voting on anything until.
Well, we're on a timing
Yeah, we have to
issue,
vote on this.
and
On schedule.
the city council can take a look at information that we can get together in the meantime, and the city council might make a different adjustment, but as far as the EDA is concerned,
Has to be done.
Needs to move
kind
forward.
of-
Okay, so the
So-
EDA can move it forward, but the council can make adjustments.
Right.
Mr. Reinhardt.
Yep. Similar to the city levy, so the preliminary levy has to be set by September 30th. So that would be your max levy. You could make it, if you set it as just the preliminary levy, you can make adjustments to it after September 30th. That September 30th deadline is what would show up on your property tax statements that get mailed in November. So if you know you're going a different direction, then presumably you could make that at the city council level at the next meeting too.
So the motion would state preliminary. Mr. Thompson?
Mr. President, I think you have two choices. You could, I don't know if tabling this for 2 weeks would get you any more information, or, and Nate, you can correct me on this, but even if the EDA does adopt this, it still has to be approved by the city council.
Correct.
We're
So
going to adjust it.
So you'll have a second bite at this one
Council-
as wearing a different
City
hat.
council can make
but the
another
same
decision.
people, right?
So we take the max and then we can lower it after we get more feedback.
Is that what? Okay, perfect. That makes sense.
So again,
Okay, I'll do it.
Ms. Member Contreras.
All right, with that, I'll adopt the resolution E 2025-002 and E, okay, so I can do both of them on one, or do I have to separate these?
Probably separate them out.
Separate, okay. So that one was for E 2025-002, approving the 2025 EDA special benefit levy of.
For 2026.
Sorry, 2026 EDA special benefit levy of $550,000.
I'll second.
A motion and second on the floor. Any discussion? Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Passes 3-2. Next item.
I will make a motion to adopt resolution E 2025-003, approving the 2026 budget.
I'll second.
That's the EDA budget. A motion and second. Any discussion? Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Passes 3-2. All right. Next on our agenda, looking at item 3B, the lease with Delicious Ice Cream Cravings, LLC. Mr. Kursky.
Mr. President and board members, so this is a reconfiguration of a current lease we have. The current tenant is selling the business and they refinance their loan with Next Stage. And so this is actually a new 5-year lease for the new owner. So we're actually going to pick up some increase in rent over the next few years since they were at a lower rent on the original lease.
Any questions of staff? Mr. Lehman?
Thank you, Mr. President. The questions I have is, I'm reading the memo, and it says that the past couple of years, the business has received significant operational funding through Scott County and Next Stage. So is that funding coming from Scott County CDA?
Yes.
Okay, and what is Next Stage?
Next Stage is a program funded by the Scott County CDA. So they take a certain percentage of their budget and give it to Next Stage, and then Next Stage has been circulating those loans. So actually Next Stage, I think, has a significant amount of money from loans that are circulated over the past several years where they can loan them back out to new businesses. So they're basically similar to a mortgage, they're refinancing the debt on this business for the new owner.
Okay, and then it has one named person serving in advisory and consulting role for the business, but then at the bottom it has a different name as an advisor with guidance from advisor Lee Hall. So we got two separate advisors. One is for the business. Who is the second one?
So board and members, Lee Hall runs Next Stage.
Okay.
He's the chair.
All right.
What's your questions?
I think that's all I had. It's 5-year lease, right?
Correct.
One more question.
Sure.
Do we know what percentage of that 5-year lease will be paid for by the CDA funds?
None. So
None?
That program only finances capital equipment, so there are freezers, things like that. It's capital equipment that's collateralized with a note so that, for instance, if they were to go out of business, the Next Stage has a note on that equipment and they would take it over.
Okay.
So it's good for them.
Yep. Well, good all around.
Yeah. All right, any other questions of staff? What are the wishes of the body? Mr. Delaney.
I recommend for approval of the new 5-year lease agreement with Delicious Ice Cream Cravings LLC, doing business at Delicios del Vigo, under substantially the same terms as the existing lease in order to satisfy financing requirements and ensure continued tenancy at River Center City Center.
Motion on the floor, Mr. Lehman.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Discussion, Mr. Lehman?
Good ice cream treats.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I haven't tried them all yet, but it'll take a while. Any other comments, questions? So motion's on the floor. Went through the discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, we are down to the EDA bill list on item 4A. Is there any questions on the bill list?
None for me.
None.
Hearing none, we'll move on. I'll ask, without dissent, we'll move to adjourn to October 7th, 2025 at 7 p.m. No dissent? No dissent. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll reconvene the Shakopee City Council. This will take us to item 11, Liaison and Administration Reports. Mr. Lara.
I have attended the swearing in of our recent new officer, Logan Mack. That was sometime last week. That is all I have done.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Councilor Contreras?
Thank you, Mayor. I also have the swearing in of our new officer, and my liaisons will be coming up this.
Very good. Thank you. Councilor Whiting?
No, I missed the swearing-ins are hard for me, but I'm going to try tomorrow. I'm going to try.
Well, you could just get arrested and say hi.
That might be my way in, but the last swearing in, or one of the ones I went to, that was the one cop that pulled me over too. So nothing else to report.
Mr. Delaney.
Hard to follow that one up. MMUA conference in Rochester. Used a lot of great information. It's like drinking through a water hose. Some great topics, electricity 101. Networking session. This one was really surprising. There was I didn't know some of our commissioners and cities are actually elected. I was floored with that information. Ours are appointed here, or they sign up and then approved by council. Every city's different. There's no cookie-cutter approach, but just that was interesting to find it out. That was our networking session. Also, Minnesota actually has hydroelectric, about 2%. I did not know that either. That was a fun fact I learned there. Also, switching gears here, AMI. We are 99 point some odd % complete with AMI. This is a few out, just a few exceptions. There are 3 households that are seeking to opt outside. We're trying to work through that. Also, Eagle Creek undergrounding is happening. They should start boring through there, so that was one of your questions that is happening. Also, outside of that activity, I got a chance to do back-to-school supply giveaway with Advocates for a Thriving Community at Savage Library. About 100 students were served. That was a fun time. And one last thing, Jackson Commons Park. That is a fantastic park. I was over there, was it Sunday, when it was really beautiful. Place was packed with kids on the trails. Nobody got on the I guess, challenging trail, but there was parents and kids on the other trails. That was pretty exciting. I think I got pictures of the bikes going up. Really exciting to see. Only question is, when you come up the hill and you're coming out, there's bikes happening. I don't know if there should be a sign there or not. But just looking at that, there's traffic on the bikes going both ways, and you're uphill. It's kind of hard to see, but otherwise, that is a big hit. They were fun to watch. I almost got my bike out.
And that bike course is sponsored by TRIA. So, I'm kidding.
Oh, boy.
They get their money back on that one.
But we are working on it.
Sponsorship or not, if you do break a leg or something, they're pretty good at fixing her up.
One other.
My report, I too attended Officer Logan Mack's swearing in. Monday the 25th, did a check-in with the school board. It was a check-in, hi, thanks for all you do, thank you, and have a nice day. Basically, there was no agenda or anything. They're a great partner. As we pass tonight, some of the changes to the Sabre locker rooms and stuff at the ice arena. What else did I do? Thursday the 28th, we had the Intergovernment Working Group Launchpad. Their Launchpad golf simulator facility out there. Got a tour of that. What was the bill? $20 million, I think they were up to, something like that. Yeah, really nice outfit. Bars, restaurants, incorporating a lot of different things. They've basically, it's year-round, believe it or not, even in the wintertime. So it's got an electronic range with different color circles, with the pins out. Big old nets. You can stand in an area, so even if it's raining or snowing, you're under cover. You can hit the ball. It automatically brings the next one up. Good technology, high-tech stuff, really nice place, so that was pretty cool. I don't golf, but some of the other items that were discussed were obviously the Scott County issues that they're dealing through, Prior Lake and Shakopee. Scott County, one of their issues is their upcoming levy because of changes from state and federal on SNAP and Medicaid. I learned that Minnesota is one of 3 states in the country that have this accounting issue with how these changes are affecting. So some states aren't seeing these impacts, but apparently I think it was Minnesota, South Carolina, and one other one. Commissioner Brennan is here, so after the meeting, she could probably give you more detail on that. Shakopee, we discussed our projects, Marshall Road project, Amphitheater, Marystown Road. City engineer brought that one up. I missed that one. That's going to be a big project, great safety improvement. E-bikes always pop up, and general traffic safety across the board. So I was on the board. Prior Lake has a trail, ADA issues, and they've got that park referendum on their ballot for what dollar amount?
66 million?
60 million?
Yeah, 60.
Was it 60 million? I think it was. So that'll be on their voters' agenda. Mr. Reynolds, what do you have for us?
Well, I'd just like to remind everyone that tomorrow at 3:30, here in the council chambers, Chief Simon will be officially sworn in by the city clerk, and we'll have his family here in attendance. Please come if you can make it. And we sincerely appreciate all the support that you give the fire department.
Very good. Item 11B. Oh, 11A. My bad. 11A, city bill list. Questions?
No questions for me.
11B, news and announcements. Mr. Delaney, you start us off this time. We went the
All
other
right.
way last time.
TAP 2025. TAP 2025 is taking place on September 13th, 2025 from 1 to 5 p.m. in downtown Shakopee. This event is a craft beer tasting and showcase with more than 40 Minnesota breweries participating. It is hosted by the Shakopee Economic Development Board. You can visit www.tapshakopee.com to learn more and purchase tickets. I purchased mine, and I'm raring to go here. I like the little cups.
Mr. Whiting.
Some of our social district cups at that event. Yeah, we probably should. Community Center Maintenance Week. Sorry to tell you, the Shakopee Community Center is closed August 30th to September 7th for Maintenance Week. During this time, the Community Center will be installing new cardio equipment, refinishing the wood floors, deep cleaning, and servicing the facility and equipment. We'll welcome you back after that.
Thank you, Mr. Whiting. Councilor Contreras?
Oh, okay. Number 3, Marystown Road Reconstruction Project. Construction will begin in the coming weeks on the Marystown Road Reconstruction Project. Starting August 25th, the contractor will begin constructing the temporary roadway connecting Tapa Park parking lots. And then on Tuesday, September 2nd, the southbound US 169 on-off ramp will be closed to all traffic for construction of the first phase of the project. The intersection is anticipated to reopen to traffic by November 1st. Visit www.marystownroad.com to sign up for project updates. What was that?
Mr. Lara.
Okay, I'm going to add one that's not officially on here. You may have heard social districts have started yesterday, September 1st. Keep in mind this will run to the end of October 31st for the season opening, maybe that first, I think it's that first weekend of December, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Please look for the colored stickers on this outside of the business for participation. Officially, downtown lighting improvements work has begun on the 2025 downtown lighting improvements. The project is located along Home Street between 1st and 3rd Avenue. The improvements include replacing existing lighting systems, street brick pavers, and pedestrian curb ramps. This will continue through October.
Very good. I had the opportunity to drive the Marystown Road construction area, between 17th Avenue and Veerling? Mm-hmm. And before anything was closed, so I got to see all the preemptive detour signs, and that a boy, nice job to staff and whoever put these signs up, because I was pretty impressed at the detail. Directing people where to go, so that's going to be critical. We all seen that map of the various phases and how we're rerouting, and it's always critical to get that signing up ahead of time and let people know where they're going to go. So we've got to plug that one more time and make sure we get it on the city website, the marystownroad.com link. So anybody that's looking to figure out what's next and where the delays are, or, you never know, maybe a project a phase gets done sooner or it gets prolonged. I've got a feeling if we can get that out there, that it's going to help a lot of people if they've got a little thing they can click on and get the latest and greatest news of what they should be doing to make it less painful. But at the end of the day, that's a safety improvement that's sorely needed in many different ways. So, yeah. All right. Item 12, other business.
None for me.
Mr. Whiting.
Just a quick thing I noticed the other Saturday, and I don't know if it's every Saturday, but downtown Shakopee, right at the Bedrock Park, where you're going down in the tunnel, there's a group of RC car riders that use that rock as quite an event down there.
Climbing wall?
They're climbing the Bedrock with little RC cars, and it's growing. I've seen it over the summer, and maybe staff needs to take a look at that and make an event out of it, because there was 30 people down there with remote controls at one point in time, and just kind of a cool thing to our downtown that I didn't know if you knew about.
Baby rock climber trucks.
Yeah. That's all.
All right. Mr. Lara?
Make a motion to adjourn to September 16th, 2025 at 7 p.m.
Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Contreras. Discussion on the motion? Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.